Cybernation Uncensored.
One. And we are
Hello.
live to the internet.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cybernation Uncensored. I am Will, Arclight Court. I will be your game master or the presence for tonight's issue 1 of Masks, A New Generation, Masquerade of the Mighty. And joining me tonight are 3 of our 4 wonderful heroes getting ready to be inducted into Halcyon City's growing hero concordance. Unfortunately, Cynthia Marie cannot be here with us tonight. We wish her nothing but safe travels, and we hope to see her here in chat. But before we get started and jump into today's game, let's have everybody introduce themselves and let them know where they can find you. Let's go ahead and start with Adam.
Hi everybody, Adam Joseph Ferry here. Adam turns heel on all social media. Just playing Jules Grayspark the Brain, as it is known in this game system. You can find me on other platforms like other channels like the Initiative Order, playing the game Vaesen every other Saturday. And what else am I doing? Every once in a while I stream games and go bowling.
Awesome. Let's move next to the wonderful Queer Venture Time.
Hi, friends. My name is Coral Reefer. You can find me on the internet at twitch.tv/queerventuretime or on Twitter at QVenturetime because Queer Venture Time is too many characters. Queer, chaotic, community-focused variety streamer. I've recently really gotten into what I like to call medieval drama simulator, also known as Crusader Kings 3. Very exciting. We're getting into all of the drums. And just having a chill good time. Happy election day. Hope y'all voted. If you're on the West Coast or whatever time zone, there's still time. Drop off them ballots. If you're in Los Angeles, I know it's raining, therefore it's the apocalypse. Stay safe.
Oh, yeah. And last but certainly not least, the wonderful ELH.
Hi, everybody. I'm ELH. I'm running tech tonight for the show, so if any point there's any issues with frames or any issues with sounds, just at me directly and I'll do my best to fix it. But tonight I am playing Prism, a Slavic transformed who may or may not be a living being of crystal, but you'll learn more about me very shortly. In terms of social stuff, I'm ELHMK1 on pretty much everything, unless you're now on Mastodon, in which case I am literally just at ELH at Tabletop Social. So if you want to check me out there, probably a good thing. But yeah, I'm excited to be here tonight and excited to finally play with these lovely individuals.
And of course, we're always going to make sure we're watching out for each other. Shout out to Cynthia Marie. You can find her on Twitter at CynDancer. Very wonderful tabletop role-playing game personality, friend. And we will see her in the next episode. I am Will. You can find me at Arclight Court or at Will Sriracha PGM on Instagram. I am a dungeon master, lore keeper, story writer, song singer, a man of many hats. But tonight, we're going to be heroes because on Tuesdays we wear masks. Let's go ahead and jump right into tonight's game. Masks, issue 1, Masquerade of the Mighty. The cover shows 4 domino-style masks, one covered in prismatic crystals, showing different hues and lights. Another with metal riveted to the sides and areas of it with like a digital counter off the side. Another comprised completely of galaxies, universes, stardust. And another showing greens, like reverberations, almost like wavelengths traveling across and between, piled one on top of the other. and a silhouette walking away from the four masks. As we turn the cover, the first panel shows Halcyon City, a growing metropolis, a mecca of heroes and villains alike that has carried this ideological superhero society for the better part of the last 70, 80 years. There have been 4 generations of heroes to find themselves here within Halcyon City. We see large skyscrapers, city parks, people walking. We then move over to a construction crew, putting back together a alleyway between a large building with a sign reading Vanquish Industries over the front of it. You see a handful of the workers speaking about, well, at least they were here to stop this. My kid just had her powers open up, 2-3 days ago. And if one of these robots had made their way towards our house, well, I'm glad they were there. The panel then shifts, showing time passing. And we watch as 4 heroes fight against a large mechanized construct, something that seemed to be seeking out people with enhanced abilities or not from this world. And this shows when the team first came together. Jules Gray Spark, the scientist, the professor, carrying himself with his lab coat and robotic partner, created a series of communication wristbands and was able to help coordinate the moving of people from this alleyway to safety alongside their companion, Malin. As this was taking place, Galaxia showed her trustfulness, her capability to be a part of the team by summoning her own starship down to help ferry people away from this onslaught and these attacks. As this large robot continued to attack, Prism was able to focus, being different and changed, hold back the droid, keep it from progressing further into the city. As Flux, a bright orange-haired Latina woman, was able to focalize all of her magnetic force into the giant droid and destroy it, albeit destroying parts of the alleyway itself, but saving many. And now shifts forward again in the next panel. We see a large banner is being put in front of the Golden Sentries Hall in Halcyon City. The Golden Sentries being the superhero group of Halcyon. And you see the Masquerade written across it. It's not common for the city to hold a masquerade. The masquerade itself being the acceptance and bringing in of new heroes to the city to be a part of the city and help the city. This is the first one in almost 5 years. And you can see the populace has started to fill the area. Booths are being set up to sell clothing and food. Street vendors are setting up. It looks to be a large event where we move to the first to arrive early to get a lay of the area and get a better understanding. Jules, if you want to describe your character and Malin.
Jules is a very well-dressed man in his kind of late 40s, early 50s. Next to him comes out is a robotic companion, Malin, who contains the memories of his dead girlfriend, because why not? He is wearing for this event, kind of a more sparkly version of his usual plaid. Kind of add a little pink sparkles to it as opposed to the regular green and blue. And he comes and makes sure Malon's able to interact with everyone. Malon is following him because she is programmed to. And she is dressed up. The best I can describe at this point is probably just looks slightly like what's the name of the robot in Spaceballs? Joan Rivers' character in Spaceballs.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. But kind of done up like that. But with the hair more of kind of a wolf cut hair, just for flavor. He's just he's not used to being at these kinds of events. He's just used to kind of just being more to himself. So being heavily talked into arriving at this event, he's nervous. He's just looking around, just wants to hopefully see anyone else in the party has arrived yet. Slightly hoping it's his friend Prism. But if he sees anyone else like Galaxia or
Flux.
Flux, he'll mosey on to one of them if they are nearby. Otherwise, he's just slowly walking towards the entrance, not wanting to be stopped by anyone, but knows it'll inevitably happen.
You know, you're waiting to see one of your friends from that day, one of the allies that you've made. The one person that you are a bit more concerned about seeing is Flux. You do know that Flux went back to the lab and went into the safety confinement box from all of the energy that she took in from fighting the enhanced seeking droid. If she is able to purge that energy and still be okay, you know that Flux will be there, but there was a lot of energy that was taken in, especially from it seeking out enhanced individuals as well. I will have you roll to assess the situation. We'll have our first roll for the night. And that will be 2d6 plus superior.
Excellent. Okay, that is 8.
8. Okay. So you have the capability to ask any one question about the area around you and the things that are going on, or something that you want a little bit more clarification on. But one thing that you do notice outside of your question is you do see one small boy, looks to be about 9 or 10 years old. He's got small bone protrusions coming from the middle of his forehead, splitting down the middle of the top of his head. And he has what looks to be a much larger than his frame lab coat thrown over it. And he has a like he took his sister's doll and spray painted it with like silver spray paint to look almost like Malon. And he's running through the park trying to get up to the front. You do recognize the little boy as one of the enhanced children that you saved that day.
Do I try to remember their name.
His name was Alex.
Alex. I'll go towards him. Alex, you shouldn't be here. You should be resting.
You see him kind of like
Boy your
grind
age, just-
to a stop and then turn and then raise the small doll. So I've got one too now. I'm going to be a hero like
look.
you.
Well, that is very flattering, of course, and you absolutely can be. Just remember, get lots of rest and study as well. That is a very, very good replica. Wouldn't you say, Malin? And Malin, of course, nods, and says, and just agrees in a very robotic voice. It is properly made to the correct parameters of a small version of myself. I am very, very grateful.
Like,
And just
huge grin grows across this boy's face. He goes, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to pay attention in school. I'm going to do a lot of science. I promise a lot of science.
good for you, and keep it up. And don't tell your parents, but here. And I just to relax me, I gave myself a little bit of a kind of a hard candy.
Mhm.
I pass one off to him. It'll be our
He, like,
secret.
Holds it and then puts it on the inside pocket of the lab coat. He goes, I have it when I'm studying, so I know what I'm working towards. And he like raises
Excellent.
his hand for a high five.
Absolutely. I give one high five back, and then I pull him in and just let him know. A little secret from one genius to another. You want pockets on the inside as well.
Pockets on the inside. Pockets on the, and he looks down at the like spray painted doll. He's all pockets on the inside, and then takes off running to get to the top of the stairs of the Golden Sentinels like hall, so he could be right at the front when the ceremony happens.
You see, Malin? Stuff that we do does matter. And that interaction definitely helps relax him just a touch, as he keeps as he puffs out his chest just a little bit more, and starts walking forward even closer towards the entrance.
Next, as we watch Jules and Malin start walking up the stairs, the panel shifts towards Prism. Prism, how are you preparing yourself for this event?
Well,
And describe your character for everybody.
Right. So small retcon from session 0, because I think session 0 I was thinking more of like a dragonborn or maybe some form of a fire chicken from Pokemon, but small retcon, more of an actual dragon form than anything else. Again, made of that pure prismatic crystal. And as in terms of preparation, I think, he's just sort of walking along. He's trying to see what other capes are there, what other people wearing masks are there. But in general, he's sticking to himself, not out of deliberateness, but more of a, I'm not sure if it's okay for me to talk to anyone kind of a thing. I do have one question before I do anything is, do I see Jules at any point, or do I not see him yet?
Give me and assess the situation.
All right, let's see what we got. Survey says, yeah, that is a grand total of a 6, so I'm thinking that's a no.
Go ahead and mark potential, because we fail forward here. You don't see Jules. And more importantly, if I look for Malin, I'll find Jules. You don't see Malin either. One thing that you are aware of is the last masquerade that happened was an induction of students from a government organized superhero school known as the Society of Sabers. But there were no other supers in costume or uniform. But it was stated maybe like a couple of weeks afterwards that, oh, the hermit, who is much like a Dark Knight vigilante in Halcyon City, was in attendance and was there. The Golden Sentinel, who is much like a Kryptonian superhero, was in attendance there, but was not there in any uniform or official capacity. So for the most part, you were seeing citizens and people of Halcyon City just freely moving between booths, trying to get closer and closer onto the like plinth area in front of the Golden Sentinels Hall for the induction of the new heroes, but nobody in particular that you see. You do feel something, even through the crystalline skin, the communicator on your wrist that Jules had made for everyone. You hear a strained voice from your friend Stella, also known as Flux. Riz, I don't think I'm gonna make it there. At least this is a lot. This is way more than I thought I was gonna be able to throw off of me. But just let everybody know I'm okay. I'm gonna stay back. I'll watch on the TV. I'd much rather be safe and okay than try and rush myself and put myself or others in danger.
Well, if you don't mind me saying so, Flux, it sounds like you're not doing too hot. I mean, honestly, this whole ceremony, it's ceremony. It's not actually big. Do you need me to come back? I don't mind coming back and hanging out.
No, I've got. It's just a lot to let out, and I don't want you to miss out on the induction because of me. And you deserve it. I know I deserve it as well, but I'd much rather be safe. You enjoy it. Let me know how everything goes.
Of course. I will give you complete play-by-play that will rival Jules' version of events.
She kind of like giggles for a second as you hear like what sounds, if metal could crash like water, you hear that in the background as you know that she has released another overcharge, another large portion of that energy out. She goes, all right, well, I'm not going to keep you. Just enjoy the day. We deserve it.
Just, I want to be very clear, Flux. If at any point it does become unbearable and you need help, interrupt the ceremony. You are more important.
Will do. Thanks.
You're welcome. And then, yeah. With a little bit more pep in his step, Prism is going to start walking towards the front, but I do want to have one quick question about the booths. I might have missed it, but are we talking like just standard pamphlet handing booths? Or are we like carnival game booths? You know, what sort of booths are we dealing with here?
So there are pop-ups that have like an array of like clothing, small hats. There are 2 or 3 that definitely stand out that seem to be handing out not anti-hero, but like very similar to we shouldn't be keeping a catalog of people who protect us. We shouldn't be breaking into the personal lives of the people that we trust with our lives, like almost like an anti-registration act that are handing out pamphlets. They aren't against the heroes, but they're against the government agents known as Aegis, who are here, that are keeping tabs on all of the heroes and letting the public know, Prism has such and such power, such and such capability, has been a hero for X amount of time, things of that nature. And then outside of that, there are a few food trucks that are set up. And then there is another far back to the corner, away from all of the rest of like the festivity portions of the pop-ups, that is Vanquish Industries. And it's almost like a blood donation truck that's set up that says to be enhanced or to be you. You do know that Vanquish Industries has been working on for the last 3 or 4 years something to help remove the enhanced abilities from people and allow them to live a normal life without their powers, without their capabilities. And it's kind of like tucked away almost next to the parking lot, away from everything else.
You said there were food trucks, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to go up to the food trucks, and then I'm going to key my communicator. I'm going to say, a prism to Galaxia. Are you there?
And as you receive a jackfruit street taco, and it's like 7 of them on a plate, they're just kind of passing them over to you, we move to Galaxia aboard her Kirby craft. If you want to describe what the starship looks like first, Galaxia, and then describe your character to us.
Yeah. So my starship was meant to fly. And that's what she's doing. I am so like the inside of at the moment, this the Starcraft cannot be seen from the outside. It has the ability to camouflage in with the sky and the clouds. On the inside, the ship is very, it's mid-century modern open planning, with lots of big windows, however, unlike mid-century modern, it's not a lot of squares, lots of domed, curved features, because aerodynamics, you don't want to be flying a brick through the sky. The Starcraft does not have wings traditionally. It floats more as like being from the galaxies, all of my stuff is made out of galaxy dust. So it has materialized and like solidified in basically like this not a dome but like an ovular type thing. If you've ever seen like the London Eye and like the pods that are on there, it's almost like that, where it's just a really nice open space. We of course have a few little areas that are necessary, like bathrooms and cargo and all of that shit. But that's like the bigger structure, and it floats along on stardust. And leaves if I'm not camouflaged, if I'm like stationary and just hovering, you'll see a bunch of like stardust just kind of like pouring out the bottom, and if we're moving, it leaves a trail. And that is my very long description.
Yes. I love the Kirby craft. I love that Galaxia picked up a Modern Homes magazine and was like, this architecture right here, this is exactly what the inside needs to be.
Yeah.
And then
open planning.
And then describe Galaxia as she receives this message from Prism.
Yeah, so I can I just say that I was part of the reason why I'm the last to arrive is because I just left Flux.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Because Galaxia hates going to parties without Flux. Like, that is. Flux always makes it's always a better time when Flux is around. So Galaxia was doing everything that she could to try to make sure that like to try and get Flux out, see if that was possible, and then once it was a no-go, to make sure that she's, as comfy as possible. So at the moment, Galaxia has decided to change her appearance to her hair is a little bit longer and wavier, and she's changed it to the same color as Flux's, just because she's like
She's got to be here somehow, in some way.
Exactly. She has to be represented somehow. I'm wearing my mask is on full display. I've got the black with all of the sparkly star stuff in it, reds, blues, purples, and it fades out off the side of my face. You don't know, nobody knows how it's sitting on my face. Fun fact, it's actually just part of my face now. I've also created this long evening gown made of the exact same material that floats and dissipates into the air behind me as I walk. And all of this has been definitely A-okayed by Flux.
The whole nine. Flux even
yeah.
said a little bit like, just put some green in there, like just like this neon, almost like lightning bolt of green through. Just a little bit.
She originally had a one shoulder situation going on, and Flux was all like, no, girl, give me like a low boat neck, open shoulders, and go with sleeves. Do that, and it looks great.
And it's at this time that you receive the message from Prism asking, where are you?
Oh, hi. Yeah, I was just with Flux. She's not coming. I don't know if you know.
I just got to follow with her, yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. I'm sure you could tell she's having a little bit of a time right now. She's really bummed she's missing out, but yeah, we're just gonna have to make sure to party extra hard for her.
Well,
okay?
On that note, I understand that you have always wanted to try a certain type of taco. Well, I have a whole plate of them for you.
Oh my gosh. Wait, is this the taco that's like everybody's talking about how it's the meat, but it's not the meat?
I look at the food stand and see a sign. Yes, it is.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Look, the sauces that I've discovered here, Earth, I don't know what it is about y'all, but y'all do sauces really good. And yeah, she's just gonna be very excited about this food.
Prism, there's like a Cajun dry rub, but there's also like this like creamy guacamole sauce over the top of it, like small hints of cilantro in there. There's like lime set over to the side if you want a little bit more like juice flavor to it, but it's absolutely not meat. This is jackfruit, and these are jackfruit Cajun street tacos.
Look, Coral, I love a good jackfruit moment. I don't know how anybody can hate on a good marinated jackfruit moment. So Galaxia's pumped.
Galaxia, the Kirby craft has moved. Would you want it to be over the top of the ceremony and then Galaxia dramatic entrance in, Or is this one of those, we're going to park it behind the hall and just kind of like, I'm here from around the corner?
We're gonna split the difference, and we're
Okay.
gonna go like the Uber is dropping us, or like the limousine is pulling up to the red carpet situation.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, we're definitely going to like land on the street, but Galaxia does want to have her whole
Does the Kirby
Chloe.
craft turn into a limo as you're pulling up is the important part? Or does it stay invisible and you step out of nothing?
I'm not going to have it stay invisible because I am going to like have it like go down to street level, and I
Mhm.
don't want anybody rear-ending me without knowing my thing is there.
Okay.
And so yeah, but that is an entrance in itself, you know. Just seeing a spacecraft all of a sudden materialize, and then a fucking stunning creature walk out.
Absolutely. Here for that whole entrance on display. And you can see as the door opens on the Kirby craft set out in front of the city park in Halcyon Center. As it opens, there's even a bit of the stardust cloud that like pulls forward as Galaxia steps out. Jules and Prism, you both immediately recognize the Kirby craft as it has settled down to the horizontal on land form as Galaxia steps out of it. It is at this point, Flux, that you do see Malin moving with
Prism.
Jules. Or yes, Prism. It's at this moment that you see Malin moving alongside Jules towards Galaxia.
All right. I arrange it so I arrive just right behind him, and then as soon as Galaxia comes out to us, I just kind of hold out the plate of tacos and I say, "Would you like a taco?"
Yes, please. And yeah, Galaxia takes it and just look, she's like one of those people on Food Network. The galaxy colors everything, and she's about to have a galaxy on her tongue, a galaxy of flavor.
Somehow time slows.
It does, honestly, for her.
There are several panels of just this taco moving towards Galaxia's mouth.
It's like Food Wars.
Yes.
After the first bite.
Galaxia, I would like you to roll and assess the situation. Taco, everything you could have imagined, and then some.
Oh, okay. Assess the situation. That's plus your superior, right?
Correct.
That is a 6. 4 on the die plus 2.
6. Mark potential.
Yay!
So what you notice is that this taco is beyond any other flavor combination that you have experienced here on Earth at this point in time. It's meat, but it's not meat. What they have coined as Cajun is probably like within your top 3, if not fighting for the number 1 spot in spice combinations. And this creamy sauce of avocado and cilantro and lime is just, it's delicately dancing. And it is set the flavor profile for the entire experience. One thing that you do catch, you see a small gathering of what look to be young adult humans, varying from what you assume to be young adolescents to the beginning stages of advanced maturity. And they all have adorned their face with these constellations, these purples, these lavenders, these cobalts and silvers, these golds and greens all across their face. They have one looks like it has a like UFO off of the shoulder, like crashed into their shoulder. And they are staring in awe as you have exited from the Kirby craft and are experiencing what could quite possibly be Halcyon City's greatest taco.
Look, that's what I'm going to claim for now on. They're going to be able to put it on their marketing. Galaxia says Halcyon City's best tacos.
They catch your attention once experiencing the full flavor profile. Jules, you see something else. You see somebody moving from the Vanquish Industries like medical pop-up van and start getting ready to close it up. You have not seen anybody move towards that medical setup at all, albeit all the like at the furthest point away from all of the festivities. None have gone towards it. None have participated in any conversations with them. And they seem to be gathering the table that's set up in the front, the pop-up that's there, loading everything up and closing it up to leave. And it's here that we get a momentary flashback to the enhanced seeking droid. Where, Jules, when you were going over the construction of this construct, that you noticed in several places, in particular the search and identification systems of this droid were made by Vanquish Industries. As that flashback ends and you are back in the present day.
While Galaxia is, I'm guessing, interacting with their fans, their young fans, I kind of lean over towards Prism and try to gain their attention.
Oh, would you like a taco as well?
Absolutely not.
What's wrong? It's a
not
good
really my
taco.
thing.
I mean, look at Galaxia. She's having a great time.
I appreciate that, but our friends over there at Vanquish Industries
So
looks
they
like they're
are.
packing up for the night a little early.
Well, I mean, has anyone
You know,
actually
I
gone over to
noticed.
them, or?
Not that I've noticed since I've been here. However, I did notice during our last battle that some of the construction on the robots, some of the designs, did contain some of Vanquish Industry labels. I think we might need to find some of them to question.
Are you sure this isn't one of those situations where, you know, we find a ballistic missile that's maybe has a chipset from some random company? I mean, is this a mass-produced chip? Is this perhaps a special design chip? Because if it's special design chip, I agree, we should find one of them to question. But if this is general purpose chip, then maybe we're just, what is the expression? Red herring, perhaps?
During all of this, Galaxia had her taco, and then I think the only interaction she had with the fans is she went ahead and blew them a nice little kiss, and with that kiss, she sent stardust, and so everybody was all like,
with it.
it was very exciting for them. But Galaxia is definitely still here with the she didn't leave the
Of course.
party. So yeah, she hears this conversation.
I assume we
she's
weren't
just
having the
like-
conversation where you were like far away.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's just like, can we just like, just one night? We're like, tonight's a party. We're just trying. It's a ball. We can't take a night off.
I mean, maybe you can, but I always look like this. I don't have choice.
At that moment, I need Jules or Galaxia to roll to defend.
Oh.
Oh,
That'll be-
the answer is no. We can't take a night off.
2d6 plus savior.
What's your
How do we-
savior?
My savior is a 0.
So is mine. Is this so? New system, who dis? Would I be able to possibly? Would one of us be able to add a dice to one another?
So you can. There is currently 1 point in the team pool. You can spend that point to give somebody a +1 to their roll. And then you would explain how you were able to give them the +1 to this roll once the roll's been completed.
I'm
Prism is not making this roll, only Jules and Galaxia.
gonna go for it because
Okay.
you're a squishy human and I know that, and
I am a squishy human.
I am just naturally pretty strong.
I respect this choice.
That is a 5. And as I get fucked up, wherever in this narration, I
You
just
don't.
have to say, I can't. No, we can't have a night off somewhere.
You don't. Prism, what was your last sentence that you said?
Let me see if I remember correctly. Well, I think that what we should do is we should find one of them to question, and I think that's where I got cut off.
The next line after that was, yes, but I always look like this.
Oh, right. Sorry. You're right.
Oh God, yeah.
As those words leave your mouth, Prism. Jules, Malin is a fraction of a second too late. And you feel her almost like begin to move in front of Prism. Galaxia, you can see the stardust almost get ready to move in front of Prism to almost like shield them or protect them. There is a large amount of red paint thrown onto Prism. You see what looks to be a young male, probably 16, 18 years old. Large black bandana pulled over the face, tied, hoodie over the head, with a like Gatorade squeeze bottle, like a sports bottle. Squeeze the whole thing over Prism. And then take off running.
We got peated.
You got peated.
Prism,
Yes.
I would like for you to roll to take a powerful blow.
Take a powerful blow. Got it.
Ooh.
Survey says, you know what? I'm not going to use that +2 in chat. I'm going to let the other players keep that +2.
I would hold on to that one.
Yeah,
You
though,
definitely want to roll low on this.
Interesting low. Yeah, that's a 4.
That's a 4. Okay. Mark potential.
Oh, that's right. We still get potential if we do it. That's right.
Yes. This isn't the first time. And you know, even becoming a hero right now, this won't be the last. There are people that are going to be scared of you. There are people who aren't going to understand, even as enhanced as Halcyon City is. there are still people who find some kind of pride in going after people who are different. It's something that can't be avoided, but it's something that you have not pride, but become compassionate and understanding of. This is just paint. It doesn't stand for anything, and it doesn't mean anything if you don't acknowledge it.
So I think what we see Prism's reaction is he just, it's, his crystalline draconic face is already kind of hard to read, but it just maybe the corner of the mouth just ticks up just a little bit as the prismatic crystal shimmers and the paint just sloshes off like it's normal water or some other liquid. And as it pools on the ground, Prism just kind of cracks the neck and goes, well, it's not a Tuesday if I don't get that happening at least twice a day, am I right? But, and I look down at the ground, oh, perhaps I should have chosen a different place. This is going to be some poor janitor's job to clean up.
You see the kids that were obsessed with Galaxia in their appearance run over to the food vendors and just start they're running back with handfuls of like napkins and things like a water bottle to try and help clean it off of you as you cause it to almost fall off of you like water. And then they get over and they're like, immediately confused with how to clean paint off of grass.
Well, good news. Do not worry. This grass, it will either live or it doesn't. But good news is even if it doesn't, more grass can grow. So no harm done.
Galaxia, the one with the UFO crashed into their shoulder, is in full tear-all sprint after whoever had done this.
How close do they look to be catching him?
They're like 12, 15 feet behind him. They're not far off behind him, but they're about 60, 70 feet away from you currently.
I can fly. How fast can I fly?
You tell me. Would you like to radically shapeshift and then move on to them?
Oh shit. Yeah. How far does this radical shapeshifting go? Can I be a cheetah for 2 seconds?
You absolutely can be. You could be some alien creature from another planet that you've visited that has both wings and the movement speed of a cheetah and be there in an instant.
Okay. First thing, I you know what? My focus is actually on Prism.
Okay.
It is. That's the thing. Chasing down this one person isn't going to stop stuff, and it's not going to necessarily make Prism feel better in this situation. Can I mean, I know you said that Prism's not super upset.
Are you trying to pierce the mask?
I'm trying to comfort or support. I'm trying to see if they need comfort or support. I would like to comfort and support them.
You are absolutely more than welcome to. How are you
Okay.
comfort and supporting them?
Well, so I have the best of them as one of my playbook moves. So when I comfort or support somebody, I tell them how they, when I do it by telling them how they exemplify the best parts of Earth, I roll freak instead of mundane.
Yes.
So Galaxia is going to, she is going to start adding crystals to her outfit.
Okay.
She's gonna add crystals on the shoulders, add like some crystalline detailing, like in the bodice and stuff. And she's just going to like, go up to Prism and put a hand on his shoulder, and just say, you know, this is one thing that I'll never understand, because from the outside looking in, one of the absolute coolest parts of Earth is how I don't think I've ever met two people who are exactly the same. Do you know how many planets, how many like entire solar systems that's not the case? Like, y'all haven't figured out cloning technology, and because of that, you've really made diversity your strength. And I don't know, I'm really sorry that people don't understand it, but you don't deserve it, no matter how often it happens.
Now roll your comfort and support for the best of them. And there is currently a +2 on this roll.
I'm not gonna take it because I
Use
rolled
it.
snake eyes.
Use
I
it.
rolled snake eyes.
Oh.
I rolled a 2 plus a 2 plus a 2 would be a 6.
It's the thought that counts.
It really is.
Go ahead and mark potential.
Yeah.
Well,
So I
damn.
think I know how Prism
Dice
would
jail.
respond to this. Just as a quick point of clarification, how tall is Galaxia?
Right now, Galaxia is she is a Glamazon standing at like 6'6".
Because Prism is 7'2", so I think in this instance it's one of those things where I just like awkwardly hold out a hand and I give you just a quick head pat and go, "Is okay. I understand what you are trying to do, but really I'm fine. It's just paint. It doesn't bother me in any way. In fact, it looks like Jules is more upset than I am."
We'll move to Jules.
Jules looks at the child that was running towards the teenager assailant, and do I recognize them? Were they one of the children that were saved as well?
No, they were not one
No?
of the people that was saved. They do look
Okay.
to be admirers of Galaxia, though.
Okay. Hold on, my lady. And I try to get her attention. You're noticing the wrong thing. I want you to turn around and look at all of us. Look at all that we're all doing. Yes. An ally and a friend was hurt. But notice everyone helping. Look at that. Instead of what was done.
She rolls her sleeves up and goes, "And this is how I'm going to help," and then takes back off after him again.
Wait! Dang it!
Galaxia is gonna just pat Jules on the back and say, you know, it takes all sorts, right?
Just don't kill this person.
Yeah. Oh,
They're already well outside of hearing, but
I know.
the rest of the Galaxia entourage are like pouring the water from the water bottles onto the paint and like trying to get as much of it off of the grass and off of Prism's feet as possible.
Well, actually, that's a very nice watercolor you've got going there.
Yes.
Some people
It's
are just
good.
assholes.
Always find the positive. Exactly. But we always hold on to the good, right? We're all helping out. Some of us, it's hard because it's something that happens every day. But just keep calm, keep to each other, and
You can't help being
you
different.
can be stronger than. Of course, I agree.
And it's easier to just respect people that are than it is to just be. And they like look around for a second. Assholes. Go back to like washing, like trying to wash away the paint. One of them takes a phone out and it looks like they're getting ready to like make a phone call to somebody. As they do, you hear them say, Genevieve, stop chasing him. Get back here. If your dad finds out that you're trying to fight somebody, we're not going to be able to come out again. And then just hangs up the phone immediately.
The fortunate thing about us is that we can actually see our strengths. People like him, unfortunately, need help finding theirs.
You're he, right? As the girl who was just on the phone points towards Prism. He, right?
Yeah, whatever floats your boat, honestly.
He's a dragon. Why would you throw paint on a dragon?
I know, right? He's really pretty.
A very pretty dragon at that, yes, I agree.
Very pretty dragon.
Stop, I would say you would make me blush, but I can't do the blushing anymore. That's not something I can be doing.
The teenagers finish like cleaning up as best as they can, trying to get the red off of the grass that's there. And they're consistently reassuring as best as they can for a bunch of teenagers. And then you see the one who chased down the assailant is like slowly walking back with the hood from the sweater in her hand.
Covered in blood.
Let's go.
Just the hood.
Yeah.
The closer she gets, you hear her say out, he's lucky it ripped. He's lucky it ripped. Because this, and she points at the like UFO thing that she built and had crashed under her shoulder. This would have been inside him in some way, shape, or form, and I wouldn't have cared how it ended up there. And she's holding the hood. And she like goes to hand it towards Prism, but she sees that Prism isn't upset. And her arm's just kind of out there, holding it.
Prism looks to the one that made the phone call earlier. Sorry, what was her name again?
Genevieve.
Looking to Genevieve, the one with the hood. Genevieve, why don't you keep that? Souvenir, perhaps, of this day. It might seem like an odd memento, but mementos are very important all the same.
I'm gonna go up to Genevieve and her friend who called. Do I know the friend's name? Because I try to make sure that I know the names. I try to remember the names.
The friend's name, from what you are aware of, because they have been to the drag shows, is Atricia.
Hell yeah. Miss Atricia. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna like crouch down just slightly, get a little bit closer to their levels, put my arm on hand on both of their shoulders, and I'm just gonna say, you know, whether or not powers come in, I don't think that really means much. You two have such a good sense of justice. I feel like it'd be a shame for us to not figure something out. And I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulders, and I'm just gonna be like, you never know. What do you say to all the kids? Jules, stay in school.
Yes. Well, yes, but also, there is one thing that we all have that he definitely will not have tonight. And I just point towards the truck. Tacos.
Oh no, sorry, paint got on tacos, so we have to get new tacos. I'm sorry.
I'll get you all tacos.
And with
Tacos
that,
for everyone.
the panel shifts. We now
To
find
tacos.
ourselves at the beginning of sunset when the event is set to take place. Jules, Malin informs you that the capacitors on the overcharge room have been filled, but there is still energy being output from the overcharge room, which you know is where Flux is.
I get up immediately and go towards the overcharge room.
This is all the way back at the lab.
At the
You guys are still
house.
in.
Oh.
You guys are still at the event, but Malin has informed you
Oh. Okay.
that those power cells that store the energy that Flux releases
Yeah.
are at capacity. But the overcharge room is still displacing energy.
Then I contact Flux. Flux, are you asleep? I know it's late.
I'm like 80% sure that I got it all out, but there's still some trickle left.
I believe I left some chocolates and some milk for you. I think it's non-dairy, so don't worry about any kind of allergies. I didn't actually know about if you have any allergies, but it's still pretty good. But the chocolate is specially made. I'm detecting some extra energy flow in your area, and just want to make sure you're not overdoing it.
No, I think it's the last of this coming out. Whatever was powering that thing, it was a lot. It was definitely a lot. But I'm like 80% sure that I got all of it. This is just what's trickling. But I'm good. I'm okay.
Okay, well, you contact me if there's any other fluctuations. Well, the pun. Flux.
I'll let you know.
But
I promise.
But honestly, thank you. But please, do have some of the chocolate. Malin actually worked very hard on that, and I mean, if she had feelings, they might be hurt if you don't eat it.
I will. I promise. And you hear there's like some almost struggling. You do know that once
slowly
the energy has left, it's almost like going into the deepest caloric deficit. Like the body is just straining to move at this point.
Don't push too hard.
I'll be as easy as I can.
Okay.
I see the chocolate. I'm getting the chocolate. And then you hear her like click the communicator off. The three of you, though, are now standing at the plinth, the Golden Sentinel Hall, where a pedestal has been set in front of each of you. A fourth is there, but a discussion was had between the mayor of Halcyon City, Adrian Grayus, that Flux was currently indisposed. That we will accept her mask in their place and allow them to rest for the time being. And Mayor Adrian said, "Oh, that's not a problem. Not a problem at all. I just figured, at least for the appearance sake, we'll have the four there, so that everyone knows that four were brought to the people and not just three." So who is
Well
going
done.
to
Yes,
pick
yes,
up
good.
Flux's little domino mask?
I will be the. I'm.
I'd
Yeah,
say
I would love.
Galaxia. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be the first to volunteer for that.
So
I I do give a knowing kind of look to them, letting him with just a look of Flux's kind of situation right now.
Um. Oh, I didn't. I'm like I feel like I should have asked. I asked Cynthia. I'm like, can I like shapeshift, like to to like accept it on her behalf, like as her for a hot second?
Honestly, I was going to do the same as Prism, so it's good that you're doing it.
you guys could both like simultaneously shapeshift into Flux and then raise the small mask up together for her,
Yes.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
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 Um, so Mayor Adrian, as you guys are now standing on the other side of the pedestals, like the Halcyon City High School is, marching band is playing for everyone as this is leading up to this moment, this induction into the Golden Sentinels of Halcyon City. As Mayor Adrian begins his speech, Jules, I would like you to make an assess the situation roll for me. As Prism and Galaxia, you are shifting into the form of Flux, both grabbing the appropriate sides of the mask and raising it into the air for her.
That is an 11.
Beautiful. So I'm going to tell you something that is taking place, and then you can ask any two questions about the situation from there forward.
Gotcha.
As Galaxia and Prism have made themselves appear as Flux and are raising the small domino mask, as the mayor is finishing the acknowledgments to Flux, you notice 5 or 6 people moving through the crowd, all dressed in like almost plain gray sweatsuits. Heads are completely shaved. Eyes are glowing white as they're moving through the crowd. None of them, other than what they are wearing and the shaved heads and glowing eyes, is similar in any way, shape, or form. There looks to be a woman in her late 30s, early 40s, olive toned skin, wearing this outfit. There is a Caucasian man, probably in his early 20s, moving through the crowd in the same outfit. There's what looks to be a 12-year-old girl moving through the crowd in this outfit. One of them does strike you with small bone protrusions from the center of his forehead across the top of his head. No longer
Alex.
carrying the small doll or wearing the oversized lab coat, is moving through the crowd. Eyes glowing bright white. You may ask any two questions of the situation.
No one is taking notice of them.
Other than the occasional like shoulder bumping as they're moving through the crowd forward. No, nobody seems to be paying very much mind. All eyes are directed towards the induction, towards the masquerade. Second question.
Where are they moving towards?
They're moving towards all of you at the plinth. They're moving through the crowd towards all of you and the mayor. And that is where we will take our break for the night.
We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, everybody. Stick around. And the internet can see and hear us once more.
Welcome back
As Coral takes one
To-
big old bite of taco.
to Masquerade of the Mighty, a Masks, a new generation series here on Cybernation Uncensored. I am the Presence, the Game Master here, and these wonderful heroes have just been inducted into the Golden Sentinels of Halcyon City, the premier hero group and organization here, as 5 citizens dressed in gray sweatsuits, heads completely shaved, started moving through the crowd. One in particular, very familiar to our own Jules Grayspark, eyes glowing bright white as they make their way towards the plinth that they are receiving their accolades on. Before we move any further, we are now going to enter battle against a dangerous team. What happens now is you currently have 2 points in the team pool, and you can gain more points depending on your answers to the questions below. But the first and most important question is, who is the leader of the group at this point in time? And answer how you feel your character would. If you believe it's you, you believe it's you. If you believe it's someone else, you believe it's someone else. There is no wrong answer, but it will affect how many more points you get in this preparation beforehand.
Yeah, if that's the case, then the moment you asked the question, I had a name, and the name was Jules.
Okay, so
I would agree with
Galaxia
that, yeah.
views and Prism views Jules as leader. Jules, who do you view as the leader of the team at this point in time?
Jules never wants to be the leader of anything, but in the sense he is looking at these 5 people. He sees himself as the person to be able to lead people into it or out of it.
Awesome. So the first question, Jules, is do you have influence over Galaxia and Prism?
I have influence over Galaxia. And let me see here.
I think I've got influence over you. Yeah, I've got influence over
Yeah.
you.
No,
So
Jules
thing about
does
the
have
plane.
Jules
Yeah.
does have influence over Prism and Galaxia.
Yeah. I didn't write down Prism, I think, because
Yep.
the past, I do believe I have influence over you as well. So
Yep. So
and,
that
and
gives
you with me.
That gives you an additional point to the team pool. Does everyone have the same purpose in the upcoming fight?
I mean, my purpose is to make everything nice and peaceful so I can continue the party.
Okay. So Galaxia's is to maintain the peace for the continuation of the event. Prism, what is your purpose in the fight?
I would say keep as many people safe and attention on me as possible.
Okay. So we do have a difference there.
Mm-hmm.
Jules, what is your purpose in the fight?
Almost the same as Prisms, but I want people to start paying attention to Malin.
Okay. So because everyone does have a different purpose, you do not get an additional point. Does anyone on the team mistrust the leader or the team?
I wouldn't say on my part now.
Not at this moment, absolutely not.
No. So you
No.
maintain 3 points. Do you believe that the team is ill prepared or off balance for this situation?
Personally, I don't think Prism thinks so. But out of character,
Okay.
I would say yes. But Prism, no.
Prism does not? Okay. Jules or Galaxia?
No, please give me more time to think.
Jules, do you believe that the team is ill prepared or off balance?
Immediately, no.
Okay.
I think like the threat isn't huge yet. So I think the preparation is enough that we could still handle it. It's a matter of protecting everyone there, because everyone there has some form of thing, but right now we're just the people on the stage.
Galaxia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that. It's a big gray area. Like, obviously, like, this isn't the time and place that we would choose to have a battle or a confrontation or anything. But like, given the fact that everybody, like, there's a ton of people there who we're aligned with, who also have powers, a ton of people there who are our admirers. In addition to that, I feel like we're in a very safe place where we definitely have the upper hand. Like, sure, I'm gonna have to change my outfit, but it's like, we're not unprepared. It's more of an inconvenience, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So the
Yeah.
team currently has 3 points in the pool. Anyone working with the team can spend a point to help a teammate, giving them a +1 on their rolls. You can also choose to act selfishly and spend a point for yourself. If you do, you have to shift one label up and one label down of your choice, but you do still get the additional +1, but you remove that point from the pool. With that stated, Jules, you watch as the 5 citizens begin moving through the crowd up to the front. You watch as one of them raises a hand up above where you are all standing, and you see this like colorful white light with flecks of like blue and purple and pink and orange and yellows, almost like funfetti if it was an energy projection, come out of their hand. And above all of you, you see the words "Become your own hero" appear above you. As you then watch Alex, the small boy, push off of the stair, flying towards you. And he grabs at the front of Malin with incredible strength and starts flying towards the Hall of the Golden Sentinels, like almost trying to crush Malin as he's flying forward. What would you like to do?
I immediately just yell at everyone as he's flying towards Malin. I just immediately shout at everyone, "Cover your ears!" And then I shout a special word, "Sing for me! Sing for me, Malin!" And that's my word to let her start singing some very high notes. And it's going to be and
so you're
it's
setting
be
off
hopefully
this,
in operatic.
So you're setting off this like
it's
sonic weapon.
Yeah, like a sonic weapon that will just start blasting off and being loud enough to just shout in anyone's ears, and almost like not completely clear the eardrums, but like it'll
Force
cause
attention.
a lot of vibrations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going with always prepared, and you're using one of your gadgets?
Yes.
Alrighty, go ahead and
hopefully, if I completely know they're brainwashed at this point, recognizing that it's Alex and the white eyes, hopefully the sound will break anyone from this brainwash spell, is what I'm hoping.
Alrighty, roll to unleash your powers. That is roll plus freak.
Can I ask real quick? Is the quote, the operatic singing, Is this a reference that I'm picking up?
Sing for me is a line from Phantom of the Opera. Sing
Great.
for me,
So
my angel of music.
is she doing the na 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 na?
That, but it's more like a dog whistle
Yes.
mixed with like a loudspeaker, is what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's in Korean.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yes. Yes. So roll to unleash
Okay.
your powers.
And may I, because this is my gadgets, do I add superior
So
with the freak?
no. This is a
Okay.
expending one of your gadgets to unleash your power, which would just use your roll plus freak.
My freak is +0, and oh boy, do I want to use a thing for this? Let me roll first. Can I roll first, or do you need to know first?
You can spend it afterwards, but you would have to say how your actions ignore or insult your teammates.
Okay, hold on. Let me just roll first.
It would allow you to up your freak, though.
Yeah,
Snake eyes.
it wouldn't even matter. Twos.
What did you get?
I rolled a 4.
4?
I rolled 2 twos. Yeah.
Mark potential?
I overthought. Overthought. Oh, there it is. Okay.
As you give out the command word for Malin, it's similar to when Malin went to go protect Prism. It was just a fraction of a second too late as you watch Alex rend her at the hips of her construction all the way back towards the Hall of the Golden Sentinels. And it's not until at the columns at the front of this building that you can barely hear, because this is an alarm for a certain radius, like a certain area around you,
Yeah.
that you're barely catching any of it from as far away as she is. But I will say this. You do notice that there are 5 people, as you go to give this command, there are 5 people collapsed in the crowd that are in regular clothes, that seem like they were a part of this viewing, a part of this event, to experience it, see it, commemorate it, but are collapsed to the floor as you watch a plethora of the citizens gather, start to spread out and away. You notice these 5 collapse to the floor. As you notice that, 2 of the people, the early 20s man and the olive-toned woman, move forward. The male figure moves onto Prism and goes to almost like clash head on with Prism. And the woman, you watch as her body starts to vibrate for a moment and then split into 2 identical versions of the women. And then those 2 split. There are now 4. And then those 4 split, and there are now 8. Prism or Galaxia? Who would like to go next?
I can, unless you have a preference.
The only thing I want to do at the moment is say Shadow Clone Jutsu.
Okay, yeah, fair.
That's it.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Be the Monster here. My goal is to immediately shift away from the form of Flux back into that draconic, overpowering form and attempt to intimidate or cow others with my said form. So I think that's what I roll with freak.
Roll plus freak.
All right, here we go. Well, that is a 10.
That is a 10. You can choose one. You frighten others you had not intended to scare. You hurt someone or break something you shouldn't have, or you feel more of a monster afterward and mark a condition.
Let me think here. I think it's probably safe to say that I frighten others I had not intended.
Okay. So you drop the form, or at least the presentation of Flux, as you are now full prismatic draconic form, almost like ripples back into the forefront, and you can feel yourself giving over to that form as a large roar comes out of your chest, and you engage with this person, hands interlocking with their own. You can feel there's a sizable amount of strength behind them, but you can feel them give for a second, and you're able to gain the upper hand. What would you like to do with that moment that you have the upper hand on them?
When you say that they have a significant amount of strength, are we talking like raw power? Are we talking constitution? Would I even know the difference in this moment?
We're talking a sense of like super strength.
Okay, but not super constitution. In that case, I
Mm-mm.
think I'm going to do just one of those things where I'm just going to continue to hold on to their hands and just force them down to the ground until either they yield or they are pinned to the ground.
Okay, so you rend the wrists back towards them and are pushing down at them. That same roar still echoing through your crystalline form, even though it had ended seconds ago. As you watch them like move to a knee, and the eyes are like shuddering, like that bright white is still there, but it's like fluctuating out. Like you've gotten through it, but not completely yet. And that's where we'll move to Galaxia. Galaxia, what would you like to do?
I am going to the majority of them are still in the same place, right?
They're still moving up towards the area. You see that Prism is interacting with the like early 20s male and has them kind of like onto a knee.
Yeah.
The woman is still multiplying out. The small boy has flown with Malin towards the far back of the area, towards the Hall of the Golden Sentinels. The one that projected the image is still just standing there with arm raised, keeping that image in the air. You do see a woman standing behind them that has not taken or done anything yet, but the same glowing white eyes, shaved head, gray jumpsuit.
I am going to try to unleash my powers. I think it's called in the yeah, and I'm just going to I'm gonna start twirling around. I see some mind control stuff happening. I see one of my somebody that Jules was having a good time with earlier, and yeah, not right. Don't want to be violent, so I'm going to fly up and just start twirling in the air and spinning. The dress that I have is going to like almost expand into a ball gown, and it's almost like I'm trying to like sprinkle good vibes on everybody.
Alrighty, so you're using your pheromone control power. So absolutely roll to unleash your powers, which
Hell
would
yeah.
be 2d6 plus freak.
Sailor Moon
Okay.
transformation.
Yes, very that. Okay, 2d6 plus freak. That is a 5 plus 2. So that is a 7.
Okay, so you will mark a condition,
Okay.
and I will tell you how this is unstable or incomplete. For this, I'm going to, unless you are opposed, I'm going to say we're going to go with hopeless.
That is exactly what my cursor was hovering over.
Okay, so we'll mark hopeless. Galaxia, as you fly into the air, and the dress cooperatively designed by yourself and Flux then pulls out into this ball gown as you start spinning, and you watch these clouds of stardust and nebulas start to fall over the people there. That's when you notice the 5 people collapsed on the ground. And you realize that you didn't notice them. How will this affect somebody who's unconscious? How will this affect somebody who isn't aware of their own mental state or emotional state? And you can see the clouds start to settle just as you start to pull them back. There, I don't know what it will do to them. And that is where that hopelessness sets. That fear of not knowing how it will affect them because you hadn't noticed them before. Jules, it's at this moment that you see Malin stand up from being pushed all the way back and ask you, are we fighting the Sentinels, or is this something else?
I don't say this, but I want to think it's something else. Are we outdoors? We're indoors, right?
You're outdoors.
We are outdoors.
Yes.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to say it's something else. And I'm going to ask, I'm going to program Malin to look for what's that company's name?
Vanquish Industries.
The Vanquish Industries van.
Okay. Roll to assess the situation for me.
Yeah, 9 plus 2.
11. Awesome. So you'll get to ask any 2 questions of the situation. One thing that I will point out in addition to it is Malin asked if you are fighting the Sentinels. And it's in this moment that you think, where is the Vanquish Industries vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
That you realize Alex is flying and using super strength, very similar to the Sentinel, the leader of the Golden Sentinels. The man in front of you projecting the image above all of you, be your own heroes, is using a power almost identical to the Imaginarium, a member of the Sentinels. The one fighting against Prism, albeit losing at this moment, seems to have the same capabilities of Sparta, a member of the Sentinels. The woman multiplying herself, identical to Fracta, a member of the Sentinels. And if those 4 are accounted for, then the one standing behind the one using powers like Imaginarium is Portent, a teleporter, also a member of the Sentinels. But none of these people match. Alex obviously is not the Sentinel himself. But then your eyes look over the people collapsed on the ground. Heights, weights, measurements, skin color, hair color. Those are 5 of the Sentinels. What are your 2 questions that you have for the situation?
Just two. I just gotta know: are the Sentinels are part of Vanquish Industries?
No.
They are not.
They
Okay.
are the premier superhero team of Halcyon City. Question number 2. Would you like a second to think about that?
I absolutely would.
Alrighty. Let's jump over to Prism real quick. Prism, you have this gentleman in front of you, almost completely rendered. You see the fluctuation in the light of the eyes as you are still currently being the monster. What would you like to do?
I'm debating whether to continue using Be the Monster or if it would just be one of those things where I would just continue to overpower him normally.
If you would like to just overpower him normally, that would just be unleashing your power.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're just going to unleash the power here. Just, again, the attempt is to get him into a submission position. Ooh, fun word. And hopefully in doing so, we'll break whatever mind control power sapping is going on here. That is a 10.
10. Awesome. So, with the 10, as you continue the rending forward, you pull back, not in strength, but within yourself. I don't need to be the monster right now. I need to be the hero. And you twist the arms around, almost like pulling them into your chest, tightening their arms across. You can feel there's pressure being built, but you aren't pulling enough to break bones. You're not pulling enough to even force a breath. You're pulling enough to cause just enough pain to refocus the mind. And as you do, you can watch from the reflections on your own skin, the crystals that are there, that light is starting to dim out and then goes. And you immediately feel this person no longer has super strength and I need to let go of them.
Instantly let him go.
And they collapse in front of you as you watch what you hadn't noticed before. The 5 collapsed on the ground. You see a gentleman there like start to sit up and like shake his head for a second. Mid to late 30s, a mohawk over the top of the head, this like auburn or like chestnut brown, leather jacket, plain t-shirt, plain pants. That hair, there's like maybe 3 people in Halcyon City with that haircut. You're almost 100% certain that's Sparta in some kind of like civilian clothing or something, but they definitely had done their hair identical to when they are in their uniform. And you see them just kind of like rustling, starting to stand back up.
So, obviously, I think that's all I can do for my turn, quote unquote. But when I turn my attention to What was the other the duplicating one? That was Fracta,
Fracta.
right? Yeah. Or the person using Fracta's abilities. Are they still multiplying, or have they stopped at 8?
They are still multiplying. There's currently 132 of them.
Oh, well, I mean, at this rate, we'll have a ladder to the moon in no time.
But that is what you are aware of. Before we move to Galaxia, Jules, have you thought of your second question?
The civilians are wearing regular clothes. So, that was not a question. Is there anyone else in the crowd that looks like that 16-year-old kid?
The one that threw the paint on Prism?
Yes.
No. But you do see somebody running from the far end of the park towards you guys at this point in time. More like a distressed or I'm coming to help run than a overconfident or aggressive run. Like you can see them like trying to wave and get your attention as they're running towards you, but you can't make out any anything physically descriptive about them other than the fact that they look like they're as tall as Prism. And we will move to Galaxia now. Galaxia. You do now see one of the people on the ground start to rustle and stand up, or at least get a better bearing on themselves. You don't know if that's from your Stardust interacting with them. You don't know if that's from something else that's going on. But you do see one of those 5 start to rustle and move into, like, trying to regather themselves.
Sweet. Well, I didn't realize we were outside.
Yes, you are outside.
I thought we had gone inside. But that's great. Since we're outside, that means that I am not at all concerned about bringing my spaceship in. And if it worked once, we're going to try it again. Galaxia is going to try and bring that spaceship in because the thing that stopped her beforehand was the fact that there's 4 unconscious people here. So she's going to try and take care of the unconscious people first. And since there's this dude waking up, Galaxia is going to just holler down and be like, can you move them? Can you help? As the ship comes flying on in with the door opening. Kind of trying to get the hint. Get him in the ship!
Yeah, I can move them. But I think you might need my help more than you think. He, goes to stand up fully, and you watch him, kind of buckle for a second. Prism, as that gentleman buckles, you see the light flash for a second back in that person's eyes and then go away. Like the wavering in the person who you believe to be Sparta, that wavering, it would repower this person. Galaxia, you watch as he stands up and then moves over. He looks over one of the people that's collapsed down, wearing a very nice, almost like midnight blue suit, white button up, red tie, gold little lapel pins, things of that nature. And there is fear on his face seeing this person collapsed. And that is the first person that he helps into the Kirby craft. So this person is now going to start.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. This person is now going to start helping move those people, the ones who were collapsed on the floor, into the Kirby craft. But you did see that fear fall over them when they saw this person.
Now that I've gotten a chance to see them more clearly, do I recognize any of them or?
Oh yeah, Sentinel is from your planet.
Hey, bud.
Sentinel was the first one to make contact with Earth over 80 years ago.
Cool.
And Sentinel was that one in the blue suit. Sentinel was one of the proudest warriors from your planet.
And he's the one helping everybody into the starship. Oh wait, no, he's the one in the blue suit. Ooh, shit. No. Oh, that's not good.
The Kirby craft, I would like you to roll plus superior for me.
All right.
Is it blue or gray?
The suit is like a cobalt or a midnight blue.
All right.
It's not the
we're
same
gonna-
Clearly
color as
different
the
from the other ones.
jumpsuits.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh. I can use
Yep.
okay, so I can use it to unleash my powers, directly engage a threat, or defend someone rolling okay.
Yes.
So I will just click I've foregone my actual dice. Do I add my hopeless condition? Is this -2 to unleash, or am I doing something?
No. This
Okay.
is completely separate.
Great. Dice just hate me. That's okay.
That's
So
an 8.
eight, it's a partial success.
Okay,
Mhm.
partial success. This will give you afraid as a condition.
Damn.
As the first person gathers the other, the one you identified, and steps into the Kirby craft, you hear Sparta identified, Sentinel identified. Sparta step out, Sparta removed. He moves over, grabs another person on the ground, moves them into the ship. You hear Fracta identified, Sparta identified. As Sparta steps out, you hear again Sparta removed. And you're hearing these names of the Golden Sentinels as they're being placed within the Kirby craft.
Yeah, that definitely make you a little scared.
Is there anything else you would like to do?
There's so much I would like to do, but there's probably nothing else that I have time to do.
I was
in
like, give me
this
one
little
comic book panel.
Yeah, nothing else in this panel.
Alrighty. So next we will move to the others here. As Sentinel is placed within the Kirby craft, Alex falls on the floor. The light, the glowing light in his eyes gone. As Fracta is placed within the Kirby craft, you watch the woman who has now split herself into 264 instantly pull into themselves, fall onto the steps as the light removes from their eyes. There's some kind of interference between the Kirby craft and these individuals who seem to have stolen or taken the powers of the 5 most powerful Golden Sentinels. When suddenly you see a man who looks to be in his early 60s, but about 7'4", almost 300 pounds of muscle, wearing what looks like a mechanic's like overalls, like full body suit with the zipper kind of like pulled down a little bit to where you can see there's a tank top underneath, in full stride coming up the steps as he goes to tackle the two standing at the top, the one projecting the image and the one directly behind them. As he makes contact with them, he wraps his arms underneath their armpits, squeezing both of them together, and then turns and throws his back into the plinth, pulling both of them on top of him and like kind of holding the two of them down. I don't want you to think I didn't have faith in you, but this looked like it was getting a bit much. And you can see he's trying to wrestle between the two of them, as the woman looks like she's like phasing in and out of the visible spectrum, but isn't able to leave the space because she's got somebody pulling down on top of her as well. The image in the sky is slowly starting to dissipate and deteriorate as the hand is no longer holding that projection in the air. Jules, what would you like to do?
First thing is I'm going to send Malin to assist the friendly giant over there. And then I want to run over to Alex and examine him for any kind of chip or signal. Where would this signal be that's causing him to have such powers only through the signal that is temporarily gone?
Let me see if any of your moves would fit this, that what you're going for. Scientific insight, always prepared, and logical angle. You can use scientific insight if you believe this is some kind of like advanced robotics or like medical science, something that's being applied directly to the brain, or is there something implanted on him or connected to him that's causing this to happen? You can use that if you would like to.
Yes.
Okay, so roll and assess the situation. You will, on a success or a greater success, you get to ask an additional question in relation to your field of study.
Okay. Let's see. It's superior. It's a situation. It's an 8.
I will say that you do have a +1 on this because Alex is somebody that you do have influence over.
Okay.
So that will
would
put
make
you
it
at
a
a
9.
So you get 2 questions, and one of them has to be based in your field of expertise.
Okay. So the glow is gone in Alex.
The glow is completely gone in Alex.
So, okay. So I'm just going to do a basic medical exam on him. Do I see anything in general, like behind the like any kind of like mark or lesion that would show some kind of something was possibly done out of the ordinary to this child?
You see 8 very small injection points in a circle on the back of Alex's neck. And it's highly irritated, so it looks like this was very recently done.
Okay.
Stop, one more question.
Okay.
Also, next roll has a +2 on it.
Yeah, I was waiting for a good opportunity to bring that up.
Oh, yes. Okay, so would I know enough medically to know if I suck whatever was injected to him out, that it won't affect me.
From the raised points that are, or the raised area that the injection site is in, and how irritated it is, you believe this is some form of like nanotech that has been put into him in order to replicate the abilities of somebody nearby. And it's honed. Like there's a frequency, a matching frequency between the two.
Okay.
You would need a very deep, you would need to do almost like a dialysis or a full blood transfusion in order to remove all of them from him. But in this case, Malin would tell you there are a series of nanobots within each one of the people that are here, including the ones on Galaxia's ship. And they seem to be in frequency with one another.
I will. If Alex is unconscious, I'll carry him over, and can't do anything right now, but I would try to
You
get
can't
some
take him
quick
to the ship?
medical attention. Wait. So the people on the ship are the
Sentinels, are the Golden Sentinels.
Are the Sentinels. Are the Golden Sentinels. So that, no, I don't want to put him on the ship next to next to them, because he's made to replicate, because he's not a Sentinel.
Mm-mm.
So that would be a very bad idea to do. In fact, I want those Sentinels as far away, because the signal can't be that. I don't know how far the signal can be, so I'd suggest to Galaxia to get the ship as far away from as possible, or at the same time get the other Sentinels inside the ship, and suggest to Galaxia to get the ship as far away as possible, while we have medical attention to the other 5 that are currently.
So you are you spending a team point to give Galaxia +1 on her roll to get the Golden Sentinels out of this area?
Because that is what I am doing.
You're already doing that, aren't you?
I am already
in process.
Doing that. That's the last thing I did, was bring the ship down, and the one dude is helping us out.
Okay, so
the strong guy.
Yeah. So I won't do that, and since they are already kind of doing that, I will simply ask for assistance to get the victims, these victims, to a place of medical safety, and we can operate, try and get those nanobots out.
Okay.
That's what I would like to do.
Alrighty. So then up next, Prism.
So, and if I have to roll for this, I probably will go without an answer, but would I recognize the individual that is helping us?
Roll. This will be a fun one. Roll to pierce the mask.
Okay, wow, that's a 10. Nice.
You almost immediately recognize them as they come running towards you. There aren't very many humans that are 7'4". This is Agent Gemini. He is a golden era, the first era of heroes here in Halcyon City. He has the power of 2 men. He is as strong as 2 men. He can hold his breath for as long as 2 men. He also has 2 hearts, 2 sets of lungs, 2 digestive tracts. He also ages at half the time because he's aging for two men. So though he appears to be in his late 50s, early 60s, you know for a fact he's over 100 years old.
Well,
Can I ask
go
such a quick question about him?
Go for it.
Just because I'm curious. So at this point, considering he's over 100 and he's, for all intents and purposes, human, does he still really have doubles of every organ?
Not
'Cause
of
I
those
know-
organs, but as far as like bodily filtration, lung capacity, blood circulation.
I wasn't talking. I'm
Such a
also-
Doctor Who
also-
question.
That's the thing, because I'm like, look, I know my grandma has gotten a few things replaced, kidneys taken out,
Yeah, no.
livers removed, whatever.
The Agent Gemini was a Golden Age hero who was one of the first Halcyon City heroes. He retired shortly after the beginning of the Silver Age. And though he retired, his secret identity then became public. Everyone then knew who Agent Gemini really was. Everyone knows who this man is. He owns a mechanic shop. He works on people's cars. He'll do it for free if he needs to. He grew up in the old day and age where you help your neighbor and your neighbor helps you and everything's good and happy.
It's a television show for kids on PBS.
I know, right? I'm
At
like,
one
I
point
wanna
in
be
time.
his bestie.
At one point in time.
Mr. Gemini's neighborhood.
Mhm.
But his name is hold on, let me grab it real quick because I didn't think anybody would get that role.
It would have to be like the whitest name.
His name is Sebastian Santana.
Santana. Okay.
Never mind.
Very not the whitest name.
I had to go pull that doc out.
So now
He's
that I know
worked
who it
alongside.
is.
He's worked alongside Aegis. He was the first founder of the Golden Sentinels back in the beginning of the Golden Age. Retired, but as you look down at this behemoth of a man, as old as he appears, you're like, oh, he's definitely got this because that's Agent Gemini. The kids call him Two Dude, but it's Agent Gemini.
So this is going to be a little bit of a weird thing that I'm imagining in my head, but I think what I want to do is I want to reach down with one of my crystalline hands and take, I guess it doesn't really matter which one of the two he's holding, but just kind of put like a light chokehold on one of them and try and help him and say, yeah, let me help you out just a little bit. I know you have the two strength of men thing going on, but let me be your second pair of hands, eh?
Yeah, I wish they gave me two of those too. And he's just like still squeezing as you reach forward onto the first one. No roll necessary. You watch as the male who is using Imaginarium's power like start to falter and pass out as the light, the glowing light leaves his eyes, not the light of life. As one of the people who was placed into the Kirby craft starts to awaken. Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn, Prism?
Unless I can squeeze, what was the other one? I'm trying to remember the name of the teleporter. What was her name?
Portent.
Portent, that's one. Can I choke out Portent too?
She's too close to the chest, and it looks like the pressure of the other person down on her is keeping her from teleporting away at this moment.
Then in that case, I think I'm just going to look to Galaxia and see what she's doing in this moment.
Alrighty, so then we move to Galaxia.
Galaxia is not having a good time. Even though we're doing well for all intents and purposes, Galaxia is not having the best of times. So I've been looking at conditions and about clearing them. And I think upon the revelation, the
identity
fact,
crisis.
the fact that that as soon as the people get into the Kirby craft, it breaks the connection. Because I mean, I assume Galaxia was watching people watched the duplicating one get into the thing and then immediately saw 216 people disappear.
Yes.
Right? I figure she could make that connection.
Absolutely, yes.
Hell yeah. So then so she's like, okay, we've got this basically under control. She is going to go and run away for a second.
Where is she going?
We are outside of a building, correct?
Yes.
Galaxia is going to. Is there a statue on?
There are statues like that surround the entire Golden Sentinels hall of former heroes, current heroes, police officers, firefighters, EMTs who have helped save people, things of that nature, like adorning the outside of this building the whole way around. Think like a almost like a Roman oracle temple with these statues between the pillars the whole way around.
Perfect. Galaxia is going to I assume since they are a member of the Sentinels, my blue suit dude has a statue.
Yes.
I'm gonna go fly to that.
Okay. And what are you doing there? Are you hiding? Are you trying not to see whatever else is happening?
I am taking a breather and I'm going to try to observe it. I'm going to go and I assume these statues are larger than life.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna go fly up and perch on the statue's shoulder.
Okay.
And talk to it and just kind of say, one of these days I'll have the same wisdom that you do. What can I see with your eyes as I try to observe the battlefield from the perspective of this statue?
Roll to assess the situation. There's currently a +2 on the next roll.
Awesome. And I'm rolling superior.
Yes.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay. That is an 11 on the dice, +2 for my superior, plus the +2.
I think you see it.
Okay.
The 15.
So, I love when players succeed in a way that I have to be 100% prepared for, because there's always a possibility of players succeeding in a way I wasn't prepared for.
I'm so sorry.
So, from the statue of Sentinel, the proud warrior from your planet, who is now laying unconscious in your Kirby craft, as you speak to him and say, show me what I need to see that I can't see without you. You look out across the plinth, across the park, in front of the Golden Sentinels Hall. You see somebody on top of a building watching. Your alien eyes allow you to see much clearer this gray suited figure. They couldn't be much more than 5'4", 5'5", like very young, male, bone structure, facial structure, body structure, with very, very young, but you can feel an age off of them. You can feel years in their spirit as they look to be watching everything. They connect with your own eyes, like they're looking at you, viewing them. And as your eyes connect, that person is not there. You saw them. They didn't teleport. They didn't run. They didn't jump away. They didn't fly. They didn't grappling hook, spacecraft, hover bike, jetpack. They just suddenly were not. It's like they didn't even exist there anymore. Then you get a ping from your Kirby craft. Time influx detected. Now, we move to Agent Gemini. The wonderful man, myth, legend, him to self. He looks up towards Prism and says, I mean, justice is supposed to be like an equal opportunity thing. We don't pass judgment, whether through gender or social or societal. Will you punch her in the head for me, please? As he's still like holding down, trying to keep her from teleporting away.
Yeah, if you'll let me, I will just kind of pop in the nose.
Body goes limp. They stop displacing as a woman, dark-skinned, with like gold ringlets in her hair, curls. Starts
hold up, real quick detail. She was bald, but when I punched her unconscious, her hair grew back.
No,
or did I misunderstand?
One of the people who were unconscious.
Okay, I see now. We're on the same page. Okay.
Yeah.
I was very confused for a moment.
Same.
Starts to flutter awake, and as their like consciousness comes to be, you watch them no longer be there. That's a teleporter. They're gonna teleporters do teleporting.
Yeah. I'm gonna go help the what I'm assuming is a golden sentinel. Do you got this?
Yeah, he's now holding two like fully unconscious people. He's like, so where exactly am I putting them?
You're gonna want to talk to that man over there, and I point at Jules.
That's where we'll move to Jules, as the de-escalation of the danger has been fully quelmed. Now, what all are you doing?
I cannot be the only medically trained person here, can I? Looking around.
Your call out for everyone to leave the area was answered. Especially when
Fair.
people look to be replicating the powers of the most powerful heroes currently scattered. Agent Gemini looks over at you. He goes, back in the war, I was a medic for a little while. So, I mean, there's a few things I might be able to help you with. As he's like lugging two people, like bear hugged to his chest over to you.
Of course, he's a back in the war guy.
Okay. Well, we have to get whatever was in them. We have to get out. Or we could take him to the nearest hospital. Actually, how close are we to the nearest hospital?
Not far, maybe like a block, 2 blocks away.
Yes, we just have to get into a hospital as quickly as possible. I don't know how long how far all these nanobots are in there, but they were just recently put in, so we should have a sufficient amount of time to take them out.
Robots in their blood?
Hopefully, it's just that.
Robots are like bigger things. Now you're saying they're like this big now?
Well, it's been a while since.
Or smaller? Is it a little bit more? Am I off?
Are your fingers touching?
Now they are.
Smaller than that. Smaller than that.
I don't know why y'all need smaller things nowadays. Everything was perfectly fine. You get a family-sized cards for a family-sized amount of people. You need to use the phone. It's on the wall in the house. You don't have to move it nowhere.
We can actually use a family-sized card right now.
Well, if you'll permit me, I reach down to where Gemini was and I say, excuse me, you dropped your Nokia.
Thank you. Puts it in his pocket.
It's the big old brick.
Oh yeah.
It looks this big in his hand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Puts it back into his
pocket.
His
20 fingers.
So I got a shop truck nearby. I can go ahead and bring that around if you would like it. But I mean, they got little robots in the blood. That's
yes, weird. And we have to get them out quickly. Yes, I know. Times have changed over the years, but we do have to get them out quickly and, well, hopefully safely.
He puts a hand on Prism's shoulder, just kind of leans against him for a second. It's all right. I can't run 2 miles that fast all the time. Give me about 3 minutes. I'll have the car here, and we can get him to the hospital.
Well,
he stretches his leg back.
If you give me keys, I could make a run. If you describe vehicle for me, I could potentially bring it around.
Oh no, Maddie will probably shoot you if you run into the house. It's no offense to how you look. I think you look great, but she's an old-time Southern gal, and people come into the house that ain't invited or exactly introduce themselves correctly. She might unload a few rounds.
I mean, benefit of looking like this is nothing really gets through, but I understand your concern.
Does any one of the 5 look particularly hurt?
I think Will froze.
Oh, did we lose you?
Nope, there he goes. He's back.
Yep, there we go. I'm back.
There he is. Yeah, does any of the 5 look particularly hurt?
The 5 individuals that were powered, other than the one who got punched in the face by Prism, not so much.
Okay. I'll show a little bit of favoritism because Alex was dressed like me. I'll get Malin over to try and just get as fast as you can, take him to the hospital, and show them the spot.
Malin,
I'll be there.
Nods, and then you see.
I'll be there as quickly as I can.
She circles, almost like a bioluminescent marking. She marks right around each of the injection points on the people.
Good girl.
And
I'll be there as quickly as I can.
Agent Gemini or Alan or Two Dude, however you wish to refer to him as, he goes, I could take about 2 of them. 3 10 years ago, but I could definitely take about 2 of them.
2 is fine. Galaxia, how's your strength?
Galaxia is not
Sorry,
there.
Prism. Sorry, Prism, how's your strength? That's gonna happen.
Considering I just beat Sparta at his own game, I probably could carry the rest myself.
Wonderful. Okay. And then I'll just probably get in another vehicle, try and get over to the hospital as best I can to try and help with any of the operations to get the nanobots out.
Got it. So then we will move now to Galaxia. Alone on the shoulders of the Sentinel. The members of the Golden Sentinel are all within the Kirby craft, save for Sparta, who comes over and is standing at the base of the statue, looking up towards you. You gonna tell me how to move that thing, or do I gotta figure it out on my
own? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Why don't you come on down here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and float my way on down.
As you float down, you watch as this man, again, about 5'8", 5'9", very muscular build, with the dark brown mohawk on his head. You watch him as you land, he kind of pulls at the t-shirt underneath the leather jacket he's wearing. And as he does so, you see this almost bronze armor move over his body. The jacket gone, the t-shirt gone. You see these like leather tasseled, almost like warrior pleated skirt of a Spartan appear on his lower body as the pants gone. These small wings pull off of his ankles. A spear appears in one hand, a shield on his back, as you watch a metal helmet form around his head and leave the mohawk down the middle before he pulls it up and off and then sets it down as you land.
I'm just gonna, yeah, you didn't need to do the whole exciting thing. Every time you enter and leave the ship tells me who enters and leaves, so I knew it was you a while ago, but it's cool.
A ship looks a lot like Sentinels.
Yeah.
I mean, he keeps his kind of locked away, but been in it a few times.
Yeah. Has he taught you how to fly his?
No, but he did point out that the insides of the ship show how a person's feeling. And you can see from where you're at looking into the Kirby craft now, it has almost armored inside to protect anything and everything within.
Yeah, I was just very concerned and wanted to make sure that all of you would be safe. And also the transmitting and all that stuff.
That's not worry. That looks more like somebody's afraid. He moves, puts a hand onto your shoulder. We don't really choose. It's a stranger sentence. We don't choose our heroes. We find them. I think I found mine today. I'd like you to remove insecure from your conditions.
I had afraid and hopeless.
Or hopeless. Go ahead and remove hopeless.
Cool. That's good because the way I was planning on removing that myself was by taking shots. Because you remove hopeless by flinging yourself into easy relief. And this is much healthier.
Just a little. Just a little.
Much healthier.
Sparta looks at you, says, whatever you all did, they're all awake now. It looks like they got their powers back too. I'm going to take them inside. We're going to, I think I heard your friend say that they've got nanobots in them. So we're going to go ahead and get that cleared out. I think it'd be best for you to be a hero and help your friends save those kids.
Yeah, that is definitely next on the list of things to do. But I mean, don't forget to get yourselves checked out for the bots and stuff too, I guess, because
That's
I
what
don't
we're
know.
going to do.
Yeah, okay, good. And please make sure you take good care of him.
We will. I will.
I appreciate that.
You see the other four start to step out of your Kirby craft. They're all kind of holding their heads. You do see Sentinel touching the back of people's necks. And you can see there's a moment of bright light coming off of each one of them. The Kirby craft tells you time dilation detected. And you look back. That person's standing on that building again. Prism, Jules. You guys make it to Halcyon City's premier hospital. Rushing inside almost immediately, you're able to get into the emergency room, let everyone know what exactly is going on, what needs to be done, what needs to be taken care of, what steps need to be taken, what steps need to be avoided. All heroes are told by the hospital workers to stay outside of the building, save for you two, and Agent Gemini, or Alan, or Two Dude, whichever one you prefer to call him.
I think we got to say that the entire time. We got to say or Two Dude, or every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
His full title.
Jules, you begin full scrub. You're going in with the operating team. You're going to get a better understanding of exactly what's going on here. Prism, you do have a history in medical technology and advanced robotics alongside Jules. Would you like to help in some way with this?
I think once we've gotten a sample of the nanobots, I want to, I don't want to be part of the operating team so much as a researcher waiting in the wings to get the sample. And once I have the sample, I'll begin trying to do my best to figure out what the nanobots are meant to do, how they're powered, who made them, etc., etc., etc.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Jules, for you, my wonderful friend, who are you starting the operation on? Are you starting with Alex? Or are you starting with any of the other people? That will determine what you are rolling currently.
Okay. Oh, God damn it. So my immediate thought would be to just work on the person who was already unconscious, the person that was punched.
Okay.
because at least it'd be the person that was punched or the oldest, which I think is the same person at this point, right?
Yes. Yes, they are the same
Okay.
person.
Yeah. So I will start with them.
Alrighty. Roll to unleash your powers, but this will be using your which one is it? Scientific insight. So you use superior instead of freak.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So that is I rolled an 8 plus the 2 would be a 10. Yeah.
Perfect. So with that, you have Malin convert her the ends of the fingers into small earth magnets, or at least the polarity of earth magnets, to be able to, if this was made on this planet, it will be attracted towards this. And you have her move her hands along the body, kind of gathering the nanobots up towards the injection site. And as they gather there into a small cluster, you're able to make an incision between all of the injection sites, and you see there, even with the medical equipment that is here and your own gadgets and equipment, it's hard to make out exactly how many there are, but you can bare eyes see the cluster coming out for how many were within. You're able
That better be all of them.
Sample them up, divvy them into small containers, a handful of them for separate testings.
Prism?
Yes, right away. And I come over and I take the test samples and I say, well, that's quite a lot of them.
I'll say. Can assume that they are in all the others as well.
I would say,
I'll patch the.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, I'll patch her up and just clean my instrument, my instruments, sanitize Malin, and get ready for the next one.
And it's a similar process with each one. The hardest, the one that you spend the most time on, is Alex. You need to be 100% certain that it's all out of him. And Malin confirms at the end of the surgery that all of the frequency transmitting nanobots and any other alien biomechanical or mechanical things have been removed from his bloodstream.
I finally just let out the heaviest sigh, give all the test tubes to Prism, and at the same time, I'm just letting Galaxia know that okay, I got everything out. If the Golden Sentinels are doing a little bit better, they can walk around a little more freely now. I'll probably need to operate on them eventually as well, but yes.
Galaxia's just going to say, they have their own team. They said that they're going to go take care of themselves. I think they have their own Jules Gray Spark, so I don't think you need to stress out about them. But it'd be nice to confer and make sure that you guys have the same info. I say as I look at Sparta, who I assume is still standing right there because I'm on video chat with somebody. Yeah.
I look at Alan and just like, you wouldn't happen to have the number. You wouldn't happen to have the number of the current Golden Sentinels, would you?
Number, I could just walk, and he like reaches into his back pocket, pulls
No,
out
no,
this
no.
old leather wallet, opens. It's like a brick. It's this big. It splits open this way.
Full of expired credit cards.
There's a
Nice.
fold out of like all of his kids and grandkids and great grandkids that are in there. Yeah.
Big fan.
And he like shuffles between a handful of things in the back of the wallet, and he pulls out a key code card. RFID, that like top of the line. You would not see this in an old rustic wallet anywhere in the world. And he goes, I could walk right into the place. Like there's a whole museum portion dedicated to me when I was, back doing all the heroine and things. They do my birthday there every year. He puts it
Oh, wow.
in the wallet, folds the pictures up, puts it back in his back pocket.
One day. Thank you. Prism, what have you been able to analyze the samples yet?
Have I?
You could definitely take a look at it. What would you like to use to investigate, look at these things, get an idea about them?
So it might honestly be one of those things where I might not be able to do it here at the hospital. I might have to go back to Gray Spark's lab to do this, but the first thing I want to do is do a visual inspection of the nanobots, because something Jules said earlier about a certain technology bearing the mark of a certain industry. I want to see if they were stupid enough to put their logo on the nanobots, because it's a comic book. Of course that happens. But failing that, I want to get into the programming of one of these nanobots. I want to delve into, not going too technical. I want to get into like the base level code. I want to figure out who wrote this, why they wrote this, when they wrote this. And if there was anything else these things were designed to do besides steal powers from some very important people.
So the like algorithmic and coding stuff you wouldn't be able to do here. But I do have a possible answer for the visual acuity of the things.
Okay.
With your transmuting flesh, you could make your eyelids into
Electron
very
microscopes. Yeah.
yes, if you would like to do that.
You know what? I didn't know it was possible. So yes, let's totally do that. I love it.
Is this something that Prism would have done beforehand?
I think working with Jules in the lab, I think I've maybe done it once or twice before, but I'm not like super old hat about it.
Okay, so give me an unleash your powers
Okay.
for this, just to see how fine-tuned you can get it to view these things.
Looks like that's a 9, and I think that means what? It's either unstable or temporary.
On a 9, you'll mark a condition, or the GM will tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary. I'm going to go with temporary. It's not going to be a condition, but it will be a brief moment.
Brief moment's all I need.
As you coalesce, the thought process initially is microscope. And then you go, no. They're way smaller than that. I need electron microscope. And it's like the fine tuning of the fractalization that you're changing your skin on your eyelids into that only gives you that brief moment. There are a lot of disparities between each and every single one of these nanobots. None of them look identical to the other in any way, shape, or form. Some of them look, for lack of better terms, archaic. Some of them look like they were made today. Some of them look so hyper advanced that for the briefest moment, you think that it's some kind of bacteria. like you peered too deep and saw like a microcosm like moving across the crystals of your own skin, but then you see there is like some kind of technological thing within it, that it's not a bacteria. And that's when like you go, no, I need to do this under better lighting, fully focused, but not a single one of these match to the other. They are all vastly different, both time-wise, both like built, the way that it's put together, everything about it. Not one of them is similar in any way, shape, or form.
Got it. Then, now that I have that information, I'm going to turn to Jules and say, well, I have good news and no, I lie. It's just bad news. So, nanotechnology is not same. And normally when you have nanobot technology, they're either self-replicating or they're all very similar so they can repair each other or make more of themselves. What I am seeing is a smorgasbord, I think is word I would use for this, where they are all from different times, make, models, etc., meaning that this is a chimeric infusion of nanobot technology.
So whoever did this did not have any clue what they were doing.
That or someone's making sure that we can't find what they did easily enough.
We need to know how fresh those wounds are, if there are any wounds on the Golden Sentinels. I lost my accent, sorry. My accent's back. I apologize. So after I finish everyone else, I'll yeah, we gotta try and contact gotta find a way to contact the Golden Sentinels. I know they actually claim to have handled everything, but Galaxy, are you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
The situation is more dire than we thought. We need to contact the Golden Sentinels as quickly as possible. I know they're doing their own thing, but we need information from them as quickly as we can.
Am I still standing next to Sparta?
No, this is
Okay,
an
cool.
like an exponential amount of time. Jules has performed 5 sequential surgeries in a
that
row.
makes sense. Yeah, okay.
Or would you be at this point, like here at the hospital,
That's
or
such a good question. And I actually have a question for Will.
I have an answer.
I rolled a 15 a
Mhm.
while ago on an assess the situation, and I never
Yes.
asked questions about it.
No, you did not.
And then while I was chilling out there and the time thingy happened
Mhm.
and the figure popped back up,
Would you like to ask your questions?
I have so many questions to ask.
Well, I will
two
give
most important
you
ones?
I will give you 3 for that amazing roll. One of them has to be about the person on the building. But you do have 3.
Yes. First question is, how did the person appear and disappear?
They just appeared and then just ceased to exist in that space.
As a reminder, real quick, your ship did say something every time it happened, though.
Yeah, no, the time, yeah, that's kind of like I'm trying to figure out the questions that I can ask without it being.
Ask what
'Cause
you're not limited to the questions you had. You could ask, why were the nanobots different over there?
Okay, yeah,
why
I
were
wanna
those things
know-
weird? Hearing the conversations that Prism and Jules were having in comparison to what you just heard from your Kirby craft, you can absolutely ask that. But one of
Okay.
your questions had to directly be about the person on that building.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, like I want to ask like how the appearing and disappearing and the time notification from my Kirby craft. I want to know. I assume they're related.
Absolutely, yes. The
And
exact point that your ship is pointing out that a time dilation is happening in is the exact point where that person is or isn't standing consecutively.
And what type of power would that be considered? It's not considered teleportation. Is it a time? Are they a time manipulator?
Time is being affected, but you don't think that this person is directly affecting time. You think something around them or something imposed on them is causing them to move back and forth through time. Their power is not that. Something else is causing that.
So I might think that they are part of a group. Okay. And am I on question 3 now?
Yes.
I want to know what they did they look like they were having a good time? Did they look sad? I want to know, I want to try to read the person emotionally.
With your vision and your capabilities, seeing them, acknowledging them, and even being able to track them as they've been bouncing out of time or into time, stoic but proud.
Okay.
Like acknowledging that something was done correctly, but refusing to show any acknowledgement if possible.
Cool.
Jules.
A thought comes to his head. Immediately just contacts Flux. And just
rings through. You then get an image from one of the cameras within the overcharged chamber of Flux asleep on on the cot inside there.
Okay.
She's been through a lot.
She has been through a lot, but I don't know if this be a gadget roll, but I just want to make sure everything's locked. I'm sure I'm sure everything's locked and safe around where she is, but after everything that's happened, that thought comes to mind. Like, okay,
you can immediately do like a systems check or almost like checking your Ring doorbell or your ADT alarm system. You could do that through Malin if you would like, and have her do a full sweep of the lab to be 100% certain if you would like.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. That will be using one of your gadgets.
That's my second gadget of the day.
So that will be roll plus superior.
10.
10.
That is double fours.
Everything is absolutely locked down inside there. But
no.
Small but.
Sorry.
A series of your small portion of your medical equipment is missing.
Do I know which one? Does she tell me which ones?
5 8-pin injection systems.
Mother fucker.
looking through camera feeds, IR feeds, everything. There is a momentary blip. And that's the only way it could be described. It is an amorphous energy signature that appears next to your medical equipment. Maybe timestamp wise, about 7 to 8 minutes before the opening ceremony.
It makes sense. That would make sense with how fresh the wounds were.
Yes.
And you said 8.
8. 8 minutes prior. 5 8-pin injection kits, which accounts for all the injection points you saw on the people that you did your surgery.
We have a problem.
Well,
Yes.
don't leave us in
Prism
suspense.
Galaxia.
What this problem?
Those scars I noticed, I thought they looked familiar, but didn't even think about it till now. Those darn injections were from my lab. And there was 8 of them missing. There was 8 of them missing. So that means
5 sets missing.
only 5 sets missing. I'm sorry.
The injections have 7 needles in a circle and then 1 in the middle for 8 injection points. But 5
my apologies,
sets.
I misunderstood. We now know where those injections came from. They came from my lab.
Well, no offense, Doctor, but these nanomachines did not come from your lab. I mean, the injections, maybe, but, no, only thing you provided was delivery method.
Yes, but still, they came from those came from my lab. Now we have to find out where the nanobots came from. Did you see anything in those?
I'd have to take them back
Any
to the
kind
lab
of-
and do a more
I
thorough
know.
analysis, unfortunately.
Okay. Now,
Did your cameras pick anything up?
so they were stolen 5 minutes ago, you said?
8 minutes before the
that's
opening ceremony.
for opening ceremonies. So I ask Malin just who was in my lab during that time, like all day. I just look at who's been in my lab all day near that area.
None of you were near that area at all. You had no reason.
None of us, no.
You had
No,
no reason.
by any of us.
None.
Because we weren't there.
Flux was still in the chamber.
So whoever's
And looking at the video of everything, Flux was still awake, but didn't see this. This happened within like microseconds. This amorphous being or blob appeared and then was gone. And then the inventory count was changed.
Wait a
do we know
moment,
anyone
Doctor.
that could possibly
Doctor, I don't mean to interrupt, but I have an idea. When was the capacitor problem identified? Was that around the same time, or was that unrelated?
It was around the same
Around
time.
the same time.
I mistake them for not knowing what they were doing. They were brilliant. Galaxy, do you know anyone?
I don't.
Do you know anyone that
No.
would possibly?
When I flew away and went to survey the battle from a further vantage point, I saw for a split second a figure of somebody standing on top of a building. They looked like they were surveying just as I was. They were pleased with themselves, but tried not to show it. And then they were gone just as quickly as they arrived. So I don't know. Maybe that's who we're looking for. I saw them again when Sparta arrived, but again, only for a split second.
Were you able to see any kind of... Can you make any description of them?
Well, I mean, I look at Prism and gesture to myself. I mean, in all honesty, given our line of work, I don't really trust physical descriptors that much, especially of
fair.
strangers. But I will tell you that every time they appeared and disappeared, the ship told me that there was an anomaly in time. And so it's my firm belief that we're dealing with somebody who has a handle on time itself, which, yay, that's gonna be an easy one, right, guys?
Alan, does that sound like anyone you've faced before?
Time? I mean, you had Tickmaster, but he was really like move forward 2 seconds or move backwards 2 seconds, but he died like a while ago. I was a pallbearer at his funeral. Like, he was one of my enemies, but we became friends. He's yeah, that's the only time guy I can think of.
Were you
Different
one of
times
the
back then.
pallbearers or two?
4. I carried him
He just
myself.
carried the entire thing by himself. He just
He was all of
machamped
them.
it.
Oh my god. That's respect. That's respect they have. Deep respect they had for each other.
Time powers is it's a rare thing. Like, even Tick, like, he really tried. He tried to get as far forward as he could. He tried to go back as far as he could, but it was on, like I said, it's 2 seconds. It's just enough to make a change, but not enough to really change anything.
I'm sure. How about relatives? Any relatives with similar powers that you would know of?
None I could think of.
We might have to check the Golden Sentinel archives.
What is your
Oh, go ahead.
mundane, Jules?
-1.
-1? Okay.
Yeah.
Prism, what is
Yes.
your mundane?
Pretty sure it's also a -1. Let me check. Yeah, that's a big -1.
Alrighty. Yeah. So that's what,
0.
as far as this moment, that's what you're aware of. The panels move from the three of you in the hospital discussing people with powers over time. Galaxia looking at the statue of Sentinel, trying to figure out what next. As we turn to the last page, we see a flashback. We see Agent Gemini at his own masquerade over 80 years ago. Big, proud smile on his face. This blue and silver uniform, the large 2, Roman numeral 2 on the chest. Very proud, standing. You see a 5'4", 13-year-old boy standing next to him in a blue uniform with gray accents, looking stoic but proud. And that is where we will end issue 1, Masquerade of the Mighty, Masks a New Generation. Thank you all for joining us here at Cybernation Uncensored. My name is Will. I am your GM, or the Presence. You can find me on Instagram at Will Srirachi PGM or at Arclight Court. I am working on a plethora of projects between here and many other tabletop role-playing game channels here on Twitch. I am a proud advocate of many and all, especially those here included with me. We will now move to ELH. Tell us where we could find you all over the internet. Let us know how you feel about tonight's session.
Yeah, so hi, I'm ELH. I ran Tech tonight, and I noticed that my model was glitching through time. So we're going to say that I was in on the whole joke the entire time. You can find me on the socials, pretty much ELHMK1. Also, sometimes on Mastodon under just ELH. But yeah, overall, feeling very positive about this episode. I am eager to see how Flux comes in episode 2.
Absolutely. Next, the wonderful Queer Venture Time.
Hello. First of all, I would just like to say, Will, how dare the casual cliffhanger into just, okay, great, now we're done.
Do you want to end on a one-liner? Because I got a one-liner ready.
Okay, yes, I'm excited for it.
All right, so before the flashback happens, Prism manifests a pair of glasses and gets ready to take them on and off and says, well, looks like we have no time to waste. There you go.
Okay, great.
That's as far as to the copyright can get into.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's it.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, okay, shit, right. I'm Coral. My name's Coral Reefer. You can find me on the internet at Queer Venture Time on Twitch or Q Venture Time on Twitter. I hope you all voted today. If not, it's too late. I'm sorry. But do it next time.
Oh wow, Adam.
Hi guys, I'm Adam Joseph Ferry. Adam turns heel on all the social medias, and I'm about to turn heel on this DM. Not really. This was a great game. You'll find me every once in a while on Twitch. Also doing a game on the Initiative Order that is Basen, and we're gonna continue our game on November 19th, and December 3rd will be the last game of that. And every once in a while I'll play games on Twitch as well, on Just Adam Turns Heel. Sometimes I go bowling, or after this game I'll be at the cork board putting up conspiracy theories I might have about what's going on with this game. And having a good time. This was a lot of fun, Will. But holy cow. Wow.
Thank you. And to close, Masks a New Generation has a specific system that's set into place. It's not only a safety system, but it's also a part of character growth. It's called the end of session. You go between each person who played in the game. You ask them a question that has 3 answers, and they have to choose one. Depending on their answer, can make drastic changes to their character sheet, help improve their character for the next session, or definitely hamper them at the beginning of the next issue. So we will go back in reverse order. Adam, do you feel that Jules grew closer to the team, grew in his own self-image, or grew away from the team?
Oh, I grew closer to the team. Definitely. A lot of what Jules kind of discovered could not have been done without the rest of the team. Uh, Definitely,
Who
I thought.
in particular would you say made you grow closer to the team?
Uh, at this point, it'd be Prism.
Alrighty. You can either give influence to that character of you, which I believe they already have. You can
Mhm.
clear a condition or mark potential.
I think I don't have any conditions right now. So,
You can mark
mark
potential and be
myself.
that much closer to a new ability.
I'll mark potential.
There we go. Coral. Did Galaxia grow closer to the team, grow into her own image of herself, or grow away from the team?
I think she grew into her own image of herself. She faced a really difficult challenge and was still able to kind of overcome it. She still made like good contributions and got a new perspective.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Shift one label up and one label down.
Ooh. Okay.
And they have to be separate. No, I'm going to shift freak down one and
Oh,
then
yeah.
shift freak up one.
Oh yeah, I figured. Oh. Okay, cool.
And you don't have to reveal what your choices are right now. You can message it to me privately. You can have some time to think on it, but the adjustment does have to be made before our next session.
Mhm.
ELH. Did Prism grow closer to the team, grow in their own image of themselves, or grow away from the team?
I'd say grow closer to the team, and the follow-up question I'd probably say to Jules. So I'm gonna mark potential on this one. I think I'm gonna take the potential.
Awesome. Everyone is one step closer to gaining new abilities, new powers, new equipment, new possibilities. I want to thank everyone here again tonight here at Cybernation Uncensored. This was Masquerade of the Mighty, Masks a New Generation. And we will see you second Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. PST. Thank you all for having us, and have a good night.
Cybernation Uncensored.